All right, everyone, welcome again to the group exhibit for hydrogen fuel cells and batteries for the Hanover Fair 2016. My name is Michael Sinclair, and I will be your moderator for this next discussion. I would like to please invite anyone standing. Please join us, have a seat at a table. There is service for refreshments, so please enjoy those while we converse up here. The title of the talk today is The Development on Norwegian HFC Activities and Strategies. Joining me is the Secretary General of the Norwegian Hydrogen Forum, Mr. Kristian. Please join me in welcoming him to the stage.
Hello.
Thank you, Kristian. Have a seat.
Thank you.
I was hoping we could start by providing an introduction to the Norwegian Hydrogen Forum and sharing your mandate.
Yes, the Norwegian Hydrogen Forum, or Norwegian Hydrogen Association, is a member organization with some 45 businesses and research institutions, some authority level. And the hydrogen community in Norway is gathering there and sharing the good experiences. And we are growing quite rapidly. Yeah.
Okay, so if you could please maybe provide some context, and maybe the history of the political climate in Norway for hydrogen, and kind of and then maybe end with like, where are we right now? What is the political climate for hydrogen in Norway?
It is very exciting times because we are now in a very we have a rapid development in favor of hydrogen and fuel cells. It started up actually many decades ago on R&D activities, and in the 90s we had industrial interest coming up, from which was taken from Statoil and Norsk Hydro, that are huge petroleum and energy actors that were very early and took a lead role in doing R&D activities, both for mobility, energy storage. They had autonomous power system and a small island on the west coast, for instance. So there was a lot of things going on in the 90s and the 2000s. However, then there were a decline at the end of the 2000s when Statoil pulled out, and we have then had quite a bit of challenge the last 3-4 years until maybe a year or two ago, where it turned around.
And what happened a year or two ago?
Well, things started to gain momentum again. Although that Statoil pulled out, there has been a lot of R&D activities that has resulted in a lot of demo plants, refueling stations. We have 5 refueling stations around the Oslo area. And one important player who realized that besides Statoil and Hydro is Transnova, a public agency that was established in 2009 and acted very positively for some 5 years, but then it was shut down because we had a new government in 2013 with a shift of political focus, and they wanted to put this agency into the bigger energy environmental technology agency called Enova. And we have had some struggles with them, but now things is starting to loosen up. Yeah.
So how could you summarize for us the strategy, the Norwegian strategy for rolling out a hydrogen infrastructure?
Parallel to the development on demonstration and activities going on between research institutes and industry, we had the Hydrogen Council that was established in 2006, putting up a first action plan for opportunities in Norway. They followed up with a new action plan in 2012 that was pretty detailed and shows a huge landscape of the whole value chain of opportunities from hydrogen production, both small, medium, and large scale, and to use in mobility on land transport, and not to mention maritime, with liquefied hydrogen to be exported to other continents. So this second action plan is very detailed in what can now become a new Norwegian a state hydrogen strategy that we expect to be released this year.
What is it that is unique about Norway's current infrastructure, renewables or otherwise, that makes it consider itself that it can become a world stage player in hydrogen?
It is the energy situation in Norway. Of course, we have our large revenues on oil and gas, but that's declining now. And we also have had for 100 years hydropower, and we have a rapid growth in both hydro and wind power development, and we have had excess energy for quite a while, but it's increasing because of a certificate system together with Sweden. We will install a lot of new renewable energy, which means we will have a lot of excess energy in the time coming. And we have actors that are ready to commercialize the export and use of that, both abroad and domestic.
So in actual fact, you've had declining electricity prices.
Yes.
Is this not correct?
Yes.
Because of the excess supply from the renewables?
Yes, which makes good business case for large-scale hydrogen production. And both big players and not to mention all the small-scale hydropower actors in Norway, they just pop up with all these interesting pilot projects for storage via hydrogen and use locally. So the last year we've had immense activity on so many projects in parallel. And we've had some major breakthroughs on larger things as well. And Bjørn Simonsen in Nel Hydrogen, he talked about the commitment and agreement with UNO-X to build 20 hydrogen stations within 2020. And this is a huge industrial commitment. Also an acquirement of H2 Logic. So there's a Norwegian-Danish cooperation now on a high industrial level. And we had also this major breakthrough for hydrogen trucks with grocery distributor ASKO that has 600 large trucks in Norway. They got a contract or they got funding from this public body Enova on 20 million kroner, that's 2.5 million euros, to build 4 large hydrogen trucks, 18 tons, and 10 forklifts and a large hydrogen refueling station in Trondheim.
So that's quite a bit of development that we're seeing there. The last one is fleet vehicles. That one seems to me like maybe it makes a lot of sense as pilot projects. You know, why would that be? Let me bring it to you. Like, why do you think fleet vehicles make sense for this project?
Fleet vehicles makes a good business case for the whole project because you build a station, you get in this case, a very large user of hydrogen, which demands a predictable supply and use of hydrogen from the station. So you get a good revenue for the station that has to be built, and you get a good use of those trucks. And ASKO's aim is to ramp this up to 30 trucks in the next phase. So they're not doing this, and they're not saying that they were going to test this and put it away. They are really believing in this because they got 3 electric trucks ordered last year and get them delivered now, but they see that they need the extra range because they want to drive some 500 kilometers a day Yeah, so they have a huge business case, and that's one good thing with Enova, that they support fleet development and station for that fleet. And in this case, it's been really good and exciting, and now we need to work with more fleet projects like this.
Are these projects economically viable on their own, or they exist at this point only because of subsidies or other incentives?
They will, the actors working on this in Norway, they acknowledge that this is more expensive than the conventional business. So you know that you have to pay a premium, and that's where the public support is necessary, and the public also acknowledges that. So both regional co-funding and the state body Enova is providing that kind of co-funding. So, but eventually the plan is to scale down the size of public support once the size, you get economies of scale.
You briefly touched on maritime technology. Could you speak more to what's going on there?
Yes. We've had quite a lot of activities going on energy efficiency at sea. For 20 years or so, we've had diesel electric propulsion for a large range of different vessels. The offshore supply chain. We have had LNG ferries. We have some 17 LNG ferries in Norway, with a size of around 150 cars each ferry. And we have the world's first battery electric ferry that was put into operation 2 years ago, which is all part of this electrification at sea, where you go hybrid and then you go over to the zero emission solutions. And this electric ferry, Ampere, has gained a lot of international attention and become a success because it shows the technology works, but there is a range limitation. So that crossing is 7 kilometers, and we have 120 ferries in the national road network, with shorter and longer stretches, and many of those need more range than this battery ferry. So the Public Roads Administration have now embarked on a journey to build or to facilitate a development contract for a hydrogen car ferry.
The ferry, how often does it run its route? You mentioned that it's 7 kilometers each path.
Yes, so this battery electric ferry has a 7-kilometer crossing on the Sognefjord, which is the largest fjord in Norway, and it crosses 34 times each day and have a fast charging at each docking in some 6 minutes, where it boosts a lot of energy into the battery pack. And the overall system is very energy efficient, but the ferry cannot drive too fast because it's kind of pressed to the limits how much you can get out of the whole concept of energy storage on board, and that's why they now see that hydrogen and fuel cell tanks for range extension for such a battery electric concept makes sense.
So, very good. Okay, so it seems like there are a lot of different projects on the go in Norway. Let me ask you this: on a policy standpoint, is Norway's government, are they picking winners and losers? Are they deciding on the technology, or are there schemes in place that allow the market to decide the dominant technology? Are they technology agnostic, or how does that work?
We have the state revenue is gained by oil and gas income. So we have the petroleum sector, and that's what's fueling the Norwegian economy. But environmental issues are on the raising point on the agenda. So more and more people are starting to ask questions about the petroleum economy, how we should make the green shift. Also, we've had a major success with battery electric vehicles in Norway for some 10 years. We have 80,000 electric vehicles now. And of course...
You have 80,000 battery electric vehicles
on the roads, yeah. Of course, that's been a huge success due to very good incentives and building of infrastructure of charging and so on. So, in a sense, you could say that the support for this is so clear that you could argue that there is a winner that is picked, but the government claims that they want to be technology neutral. But we need to show them that hydrogen needs this aid in the beginning. So we're just about to get the right understanding of that on the state level, and then to launch this new national hydrogen strategy and make sure that hydrogen has equal playground to the other technologies.
It's clear that Norway produces a lot of oil. The oil industries must be very influential in the political system. How are you able to make give these programs legs? How do they have success in that political climate, given that you are primarily an oil exporting nation?
You mean the green schemes? Well, since the oil price has been declining for a while, there is, of course, a huge concern in the oil industry in Norway, and we've lost thousands of jobs in the petroleum sector the last year. And so it's a huge concern, and it's a matter of establishing programs from the government to support new industries. So they want to create new jobs, and the green economy is really important for them. And the opinion is very, very clear that we need to do this in Norway. And hydrogen has now become very visible and a clear solution to that the last year. So that's really, really positive, and we just have to work hard to get the good projects up and running and help developing things that can gain all countries in Europe and the world. Yeah.
So you've been now at this show for a couple days, and you've seen what's on display, and you've seen the state of the technology. What are your takeaways from the show?
It's really great to be here to talk to technology developers, those who are piloting new products that we would like to test out in Norway. It goes both ways. We have things we can provide to European players, and they have things they can supply to us. So it's great to be here and talk to the hydrogen community. So yeah. No, I think it's fine.
Okay. Any audience questions? No, that's fine. So this has been a very interesting discussion. I've appreciated your time, Kristian. So the next talk is entitled "Contribution from Research as Added Value for Technology Development and Commercial Success." This is with Dr. Alexander Dick from Next Energy. If everyone, also, I definitely want to mention that you should go see Kristian at his booth. It's over at B60, so that's just over this way. And he's got some pamphlets on the status of hydrogen, the hydrogen economy in Norway, and as well as a short press release there.
Yeah, it's an exciting press release of the trucks, so please come and
more details on the fleet vehicle truck rollout that's going on there. So please join me in thanking Kristian for his time today.
Thank you.